10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hi, and welcome to Dax Chats. In this episode, we're heading off to the UK and let me see if I get this right. Staffordshire, but you can say Staffordshire.
Yeah.
Yes, Staffordshire. And these people, they're called Adele and Andy, and they reached number 27 in the UK charts with their last single, which was called Say It Out Loud, which is playing on the Country Thunder Network. They've got a brand new single coming out. We're going to talk about that right now. Today, Dax Chats to Adele and Andy. G'day, guys.
Hi. Hi. Thanks very much for having us on.
No problem. So first and foremost, because this goes out across the world, Facebook, YouTube, you name it, some people may not have heard of you, especially in places like the USA, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. So tell us all about Adele and Andy.
Okay, so we're quite new to the scene. We actually only started playing stuff together less than 2 years ago. Yeah, so based in Staffordshire. Very much, we're on we recorded our first album last year, and at some point decided that we wanted to go down to a more sort of country genre, and really we haven't looked back. Fortunately, it's been pretty well received by a lot of people. We're thoroughly enjoying what we're doing. A lot of our music is written about our own experiences, our own life experiences. And quite personal to us as well. But yeah, thoroughly enjoying it.
Absolutely, and so you should be. It's I like what was written in the bio or the press release for this new track. It says that Adele's silky and rich tones and Andy's subtle yet effective guitar playing, and that actually sums it up very nicely. I like how Rachel Selleck said that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm one of these guys really that it doesn't have to be about me. You know, it's a lot of guitarists, I think, probably, crash bang. For me, I realise what we're about, and it's Adele's voice, and if I can yell in there and make a few sounds that complement that, then that's what it's about, really. I want to hear, or I want to see people hearing, the vocals that we put together in Adele's voice.
Well, when I'm talking, I've probably got the least silky tone to my voice, so it comes out in me singing.
I get that, but I mean that's the same with anybody from anywhere across the world, right? Because like we've all got different accents, and but then when we start singing, it always tends to be Americanized. Where that vocal tends to come through as an American accent for some reason. I don't know. But then you start.
Sorry, go on.
And then you start talking and it's completely different. Like I spoke to someone from Scotland the other day and it's like, oh my God, I can't understand you.
It's quite funny as well. When you see a picture of somebody, you always kind of like hear the sound of the voice, but it's never like, or vice versa. Obviously, when you're speaking to somebody, when you see them, it's what you expect. So it's quite interesting.
So tell me about the last single first. Say It Out Loud. That's playing on the Country Thunder Network. Tell me what the premise behind the song was, and how you felt about how well it did for you.
Okay, I'll answer the first part. You can answer the second part. So yeah, it's a song written. It's a song written about my relationship growing up with my father, and my dad's very old-fashioned. He's one of those people that, why do you need praise? Nobody needs praise. If I haven't told, that kind of thing. And he was very cold, really, growing up. And you get the sense well, yeah, I wasn't sure. I actually just thought, do you know what? I'm a bit of a letdown, And as with all families, mum gets involved, and mum says you're being daft. Your dad thinks you're great, and and it's just not his way. It's not what he's about, sort of thing. And I still wasn't convinced, and he was quite sad growing up. Though I didn't really have a lot of time with him. And then, of course, as you all get older and things happen, unfortunately, became quite poorly about 3 months ago, and was admitted to hospital. We couldn't go and see him, and he had a stroke. And I got a bit of a surprise when he came out of hospital. He wasn't the same guy. He was very frail, very emotional. Something I've not seen with my dad. And all of a sudden, you started to realise that this guy that hid behind this kind of like veil of old-fashioned tradition was really, somebody who did care, and somebody who obviously was proud of me. The relationship changed, and it became nice in some ways, but also, I kind of like to have the old Les back, really, that was shouting at me. So it's all kind of around that sort of thing. So.
As for how it did, I was quite shocked, to be honest, because I think when you're releasing music, you never know how other people are actually going to react to it, and because we're quite new to it, we definitely weren't expecting anything really, and the fact that it reached number 27 in the iTunes charts was massive to us, really.
Well, you did better than me. My last single that went on to iTunes was number 60, so I was like.
Still a good effort.
It was. That was my first iTunes chart success, and I was stoked because I did all the pre-order and everything like that, and I was absolutely amazed that it got to 60. I was like, well, I wasn't expecting that. I've been doing it for many years, and I didn't expect to get anywhere near it, but yes. That happened. And Andy, what you were saying, I totally agree with you. As I just told you off air, my father passed away, and he was that old-fashioned type of bloke as well. Obviously, Australian and British are a little bit different, but he had that mentality of I have to work to support my family, and so he was never around. He was always at work. He never had time to spend with the kids. And yeah, you did feel like he didn't care, or he didn't love us, or he thought we were hopeless, or very, very true. The one thing that I commend you on is that you've been able to get in touch with him and see a more emotional side of him, which is something that I never got to see because my father passed away before I got to see that. So good on you, man.
Yeah, thanks.
So now this new track, funnily enough, we're just talking about family and how your father how you grew up and stuff like that. And now this new track is about loss. Now it's about the loss of a friend's wife. Again, it resonates with me because I lost my dad this year through the middle of COVID. So great track. Talk us through the story and how it all came about.
Okay. So we were. So we perform. We were in a village that is a very small village, and everybody seems to know each other. Everybody seems to know each other's business in this village, and we perform at a couple of the different pubs. And this guy comes to watch us regularly, and he's a lovely guy, isn't he?
Yes, he's very funny as well. He likes to give him grief. He's got the banter.
Yeah. But you never really get a chance to speak to him because you're always performing. But one night we were out and we were having a chat with him. And this guy that is a lot of fun when you see him. He's always on his own. He's never with anybody. He's talking to people, but he's not actually coming out with anybody. And he's a kind of happy soul. But this one night, he started talking about life in general. He then went on to his wife, and all of a sudden you saw that little change in him. And straight away I started to wonder, well, what was it like when he left the pub, you know, and when he actually went home, and
he did actually say one night, and it's when we weren't actually doing a gig, we just went to a pub and he happened to be there, and when he opened up about it, he actually said it's just not the same. Kind of left it at that, didn't
yeah,
he?
but didn't really want to talk about it. And so I kind of conjured up this image really of him, you know, sort of driving home and, you know, after he'd had a beer and sort of opening the door and thinking, shit, I'm here again, you know, what's life about, you know, sort of thing. And I saw him looking at his photo of his wife and tossing and turning in bed, and all these kind of things resonated with me. And at the same time, we were watching a program with
Ricky Gervais called Afterlife.
Afterlife.
Yeah.
What a great show that is.
It is a great show, yeah. And I kind of filled in the blanks by sort of thinking about that program and thinking about what I would be like if Adele wasn't around as well, you know. And so all that kind of stuff was coming out, and hopefully the emotions that I felt through somebody else's eyes actually comes out in the song.
Certainly does. Certainly does. It sort of. I won't. I'm on camera now, but it actually brought a tear to my eye when I was listening to it. So yeah, it does bring out emotion. I guess, you know, my loss is still pretty fresh, and so yeah, that every time I hear a song about grief, I'm a mess. So the song is called "Took His Love Away," and it's available for pre-order now. When does it come? When does it come out to radio? When does it go live? When can people hear
it's live from the 30th of October.
Absolutely, very good. Now I've already heard it, so I'm lucky, but but we can't play it until, you know, until you guys say it's okay to play it. So
well, it's absolutely fine, because we are starting a radio campaign now, so you can play it as and when you want to.
Fantastic. I'll be onto it straight after this. I'll put it straight into the play system.
Brilliant. Yeah.
No worries. I do have another one in there. Hold on, it's going to go a bit dark for a second. I do have one that was called "Set You Alight." Set You Alight. I've also got that one in there, so that's a good song too.
Yeah, that's a little bit more upbeat. I mean, we don't always do, you know, certainly the next track that we're going to do is a much more sort of country rocky type boppy song, isn't it? Really, so
I think it'll shock quite a lot of people. Yeah, because normally we're quite mellow.
Yeah, but "Set You Alight" was another one really, and "Set You Alight" was another personal experience really, where we were recalling, you know, the times that we had with our kids. My kids, my older kids now have all flown. So I've got one in America, one in Liverpool, one in Leeds. And it was just remembering those nights when we were all together, you know, and Nan and Grandad and sort of, you know, little Jordan, who's in the other room at the moment, and all playing upstairs. And, you know, the nights where the rain's beating down and, you know, you're locked away and you know, you can hear laughter upstairs and the tea's cooking and everybody's smiling and having a few drinks. And it's like, well, do you really need to go out? Do you really? Yeah, we all enjoy going out. But you know, some of the best nights are there with the people you love. And that's what that one's about.
Speaking about being locked down, tell me how life's been for you with the current pandemic across the world.
Weird. Very, very strange. It's, I can't get words out now.
You know, it's one of those, I don't think the world's ever going to be the same again. I think, I honestly can't believe that, you know, we're gonna be back to what was normal. And I think, you know, we do miss
gigging. We do miss going out and going to the open mics as well and seeing other musicians playing. But it has given us a chance to actually find our feet. I think with our music, we've been able to just take a step back and concentrate on the songs that we're now doing, which are more obviously country, because that's the route we want to go down. So.
Yeah, I think from a musical perspective, it's probably helped us rather than hindered us. But I think generally speaking, for me, it's quite reflective. So, you know, I think you start to question societies, and you start to wonder whether the society you live in is quite what it needs to be, and you just wonder whether. Well, my personal hope was that being locked down, people realised what life was about and all the things that we took for granted, and it would make people a little bit, I don't know, more giving. But I haven't really seen it. If I'm being honest, I get quite frustrated at times when I see, you know, some of the selfishness that is prevalent within society.
Yeah, well, I was the same. Because I'm in China, it struck here first, obviously. 23rd of January, everything got locked down here, and we were locked down for a good 3-4 months. And you know, like, and like, I don't like going out in the street still now because, you know, okay, we got through summer, there was less cases and stuff like that. That was fantastic. But now, you know, it's cooling down again. Does it come back? Is there going to be a massive second wave? Who knows? And you're right. You know, like I remember, you know, back when I was a kid, you know, you used to keep your door unlocked. You used to keep your car unlocked in the driveway. You'd have people say g'day to you down the street, or hello, or hi, or how you going, or whatever down the street. You know, you'd have chats with your mates at the pub. You'd have sporting events, and it was all very friendly. But then technology took over, like what we're doing now, virtual technology, and it all that disappeared, and we're sort of locked into this technological world where, you know, this is our most important friend right here now. Hello. You know, so we don't say hello to anybody now, and everybody's, you know, when you walk past, their eyes are to the ground, and like, I don't get it, you know, like, let's be connected again. And that's what I was hoping that this would what this would do. This would make people just start to connect again, and it just hasn't happened. And in actual fact, people are fighting the establishment because they think that, you know, we're being locked down for no reason.
Well, everybody wants somebody to blame, don't they, for everything? You know, not only the things that are going on around them, but inside of them. And you know, so I don't know, really. As I get older, I just kind of like feel quite grateful for the things that I've got, and can really struggle to understand why people don't have the same view of life. Really, maybe it's age.
Look, I guess it's media driven to a point. It's a very media driven society now. What the media says is what's going on, you know. And of course, you've got President Trump calling it the China virus, and so he's straight away, you know, the head of the American government telling people it's China's problem. You know, there's the big issue, because then people see that and go, well, yeah, it's somebody else's problem, you know, instead of just trying to sort it in our own country and be done with it. We're blaming someone else.
Yeah,
so it's not good. What's coming for Adele and Andy? Because, you know, we've got the new single coming out at the end of the month. It's going to be on our radio station straight after this. But what's to come? Can you get out and gig yet? What's the status quo? What's 2021 looking like?
Can't gig yet, because there is a possibility that a lot of pubs and restaurants are going to close around here again.
Oh.
And certain parts going to go back into lockdown, so gigs are kind of off the table at the moment.
I heard Leeds might be going into lockdown. I don't know how close you are to Leeds, but I heard that could be going into lockdown.
Yeah, I mean, we're a couple of hours away from Leeds, but I think there's a lot going to happen this week. I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen, but I think, you know, the fact that pubs are shutting at 10 o'clock, you know, and people don't tend to, you know, want gigs on at 7 o'clock at night. So, you know, there's limited opportunities. We could go out and gig, you know, if we really had a mind to, but I think at the moment, because of what's going on with recording stuff and the success that we're having at the moment, we've got a lot of promotional work at the moment. We're doing a lot of things like this where we're trying to get known around the place.
Mm.
And I think our focus is going into that, really, isn't it? And I think we've done a lot this year in terms of our music, and after this single, we're going to take probably a couple of months off, and then 2021 we're looking to get two singles out very quickly, and then follow it up very quickly with an EP as well, of a couple of tracks. So I think 2021 first half is going to be very much a focus on getting this EP out, and then hopefully we'll be able to get out and play to a few people, which would be nice.
Hopefully boots, buckles and boots 2021, hey?
Yeah. Nice.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Or country to country, if you can get that one.
Anything would be lovely, but yeah, there are some great events. And I was saying the other night, for us, it was quite hard to break into the country scene. People, it was difficult to get people interested, and then all of a sudden, you get a couple of songs out, and we're very thankful to Ken making it to Country Music Social Media, Rachel Selleck, who worked tirelessly really to get us in front of people, and we still can't believe, can we, how far we've come, and how much success that we've had in such a short space of time. But it's testimony to those people who around us who got us out there.
Well, from my understanding, the country music scene in the UK is quite a niche scene. It's a very small scene, and even though there's a lot of festivals, and you hear a lot of festivals, there's no national chart for country music in England or in the UK, and that's strange, because I always try and find, okay, who's the next, and iTunes is one of those things. It's about pre-sales, streams, what have you, as to what position you get the chart on that release day, but then it usually gets swallowed up by the American artists, so after the first day, that's it. So if you get a number one position, it's only number one for a couple of hours, and then Luke Combs gets it back, or Luke Bryan gets it back. Same for Australia. I mean, that's how it happens. But so I don't follow the iTunes charts because they don't make any sense. But there's no national radio chart in the UK. There is one in Ireland, but there's nothing in the UK, and I can't understand why. And even when we're trying to get UK artists on board, I mean, if it wasn't for Ken Meakin and Rachel Selleck, we'd have no UK artists, and so congratulations to Scarlet River Management and country social media. They're doing a great job. But other than that, we don't know which artists are where or how they, and we've put messages out on Facebook, on Instagram and stuff like that. And it's just a closed off community. As I don't get it. It's like New Zealand. We have hardly any New Zealand artists on our radio station because it's just a closed community.
I think it is. I think there's a lot more interest now, and I think things will develop, particularly when we come out of what we're in at the moment. But I have to say as well, and I said the other night, once you are in this community, it is like a big family, and the other artists are incredibly supportive, or certainly have been of us anyway. So we're again appreciative of them for welcoming them into that family, really, and being a part of what is a group of fantastically talented artists.
Well, what we're trying to achieve with the Country Thunder Network is obviously we've got lots of support in Australia because, that's the industry I was in. And, so I know a lot of the artists there, and I know a lot of the PR companies and, the managements and all of that stuff. I know, got plenty of music coming in from Australia every week. We have heaps of stuff coming in from Canada, dribs and drabs coming in from America. UK very, very, very slow. So what you'll see on our website right now is you'll see like a Country Thunder International chart, and that's from every part of the world, and then there's a North American chart and an Australian chart. Now I'd like to get a UK/Euro chart to go alongside all those, but we just don't have the people voting or for the countries under 20. We don't have the, you know, the amount of artists in our playlist to be able to support a chart. And you know, if we got that chart, it could become the national UK chart, and I'd love to do that.
Yeah, it'd be fantastic. That.
Yeah, so that's what we're working towards. But until we get our more artists on board from the UK, it's not there.
Well, I guess from our point of view, Ben, the fact that you know us is a good thing. If there's not a lot of people, then at least it will.
In fact, I will tell you this much, and only because this will come out on Tuesday next week. It's looking like, I won't say it is a fact, but it's looking like someone from the UK might get the #1 spot on the international chart this week.
Oh, cool.
So there you go. I won't say who, and I won't say if it's really going to happen yet, but at the moment it's looking good.
Yes.
All right, guys. Well, I wish you all the best with everything, you know, all the new music. The new songs is called Took His Love Away, and that comes out on the 30th of this month. You guys can pre-order it from the usual places, iTunes, Google Play, all of that. And when it comes out, you'll be able to stream it on Spotify and Apple Music. And as of tonight, it will be playing on the Country Thunder Network, which means you can go to our website, which is right there, countrythunder.com.au, and you can request it straight from the player. And we've also got their other chart topping song, Say It Out Loud. Well, charting song, not chart topping, but charting song, Say It Out Loud, is also in the player. And you can vote for it in the Country Thunder 20. The voting form is at the top of our website, so please do. Guys, thank you very much for taking your time to talk to me, and it's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
No problem. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Adele and Andy, and this has been Dax Chats, proudly supported by Neon Horse in Stanhope, Victoria. I'm DJ Dax. Bye for now.